Okay, so critical path analysis. Essentially what we're looking at here is a network diagram that you'd use if you were managing a project which had multiple different tasks with certain durations for each task. And some tasks can be done at the same time, some tasks are dependent on another task being done. And so what a project manager would do is actually construct a network diagram to work out the critical path, the longest way to get the project finished, which therefore determines the length of the project. So, definition to start with, a project management tool that visually displays the sequence of tasks and calculates the earliest possible finish time. It also identifies tasks which are non-critical and therefore have float time. Okay, so a long definition, but really what that's doing is it's explaining the positive of actually doing it. What you'd actually do is these are called a node. This is not the task. Students often think that's the task. The task on this diagram here is A, followed by B, and then C and D can be done at the same time. They are not dependent on each other, hence why the diagram splits into two. If we look at A and B, B can only be done once A is finished, hence why it has to be done sometime after. C and D both have to be started once B is finished, and that's why they come out of the node after B, but these two can be done at the same time. E is only dependent on C, F is only dependent on E. G can be started once F and D are completed, and that's why we have this split in the road here. D is being done simultaneously to C, E and F all being done. Okay, so how do we start it? Well, basically, top right corner of here, we have the earliest start time. So the project must start 0. Now remember, what we want to do is work out the earliest time this can finish. So A takes 10, 0 plus 10. B can start after, let's do it in days. B can start after 10 days. B takes 3. So A and B, 10 plus 3, they're actually going to be, it's going to take 13 days to complete A and B. So you can start C and D on the 13th day. C takes 5. 13 plus 5 is 18. E takes 12. 18 plus 12 is 30. F takes 8. 30 plus 8. Okay, let's go down this other route here. So A and B are completed. We can start D on the 13th. D takes 30. 13 plus 30 is 43. G cannot start until the 43rd day because that's when D is going to finish. We cannot start G at 38 because D would not have been finished. We would have finished C, E, F and think to ourselves, right, let's use our resources and start G. However, we have not yet completed D, so we cannot start G until both F and D are completed, and D is not completed until the 43rd day. G takes 15, 43 plus 15 is 58. So that is my top right. We've completed the earliest start times. That means when is the earliest time you could possibly start the task that comes after the node. That there, earliest start time section, then therefore tells us how long the whole project takes. This project is going to take 58 days, okay? So that's already useful. That's already one of my paragraphs that says it identifies the earliest possible finish time. Why is it good to know it only takes 58 days? Well, if I can finish a project sooner, I can spend less money on staffing, resources, storage, whatever it is, so it could be cheaper. But also, if it's something that I want to open, maybe I'm building a shopping mall, I can start making revenue from that mall sooner if I finish it earlier. Okay, now what we do is we copy the earliest start time and we put it in the latest finish time. Now obviously the whole purpose of this is to ensure that we start and finish in the shortest time possible. So we're going to do latest finish time is going to be the same as the earliest start time. So we work backwards now. We copy 58 down below, and I want you to subtract going backwards. 58 minus 15 is 43. 43 minus 8 is 35. Now, straight away, you should be able to see that there's a 13 and 35. We have a discrepancy between our earliest start time for F and our latest finish time for E. 30 is saying we can start F after 30, but the latest finish time for E is saying 35. What this is showing me is that this is not the critical path. What this is showing me is actually there is float time, that the other path is the longer route to finish the project. So let's carry on. 35 minus 12, 23. 23 minus 5 is, what we're saying, 18. Now we've got 13 in there. You've always got, when it's on the critical path, you've always going to have matching numbers. It's got to be the longest route. I can't put 18 there. If I was to put 18 there, it would imply I can finish B on the 18th day. Well, I can't finish B on the 18th day because that would delay D, and if I delay D, the whole project will be delayed. So as soon as you get down to the critical path, the route, the numbers will always be the same because you don't want any kind of delay. So a couple of things then. I've now identified that D is the critical path. D is the longest route. So I do 2 dashes, okay, and indicate the critical path there. So now any examiner knows that I've identified the critical path. I could also identify the critical path by listing it. A, B, D, G is the critical path. So the second positive of doing a critical path, yes, I know this is the longest route. This means that I cannot have any kind of delays on here. These are my priority. I don't want to finish any later than the 58th day. However, I've still got C, E, and F, which have this spare time. It's non-critical. So that's my second positive. Identifies tasks which have float time. Float time is that spare time. So what I can actually do on C, E, and F is I can either start them later, and these actually tell me the latest finish times for the stages before. So I can kind of relax about the starting point, but also there may even be resources here which I can move to work on the critical path. Okay, I'm thinking to myself, I cannot let D be delayed. Maybe I can move somebody from F over here to make sure D stays on track. So it allows us that kind of knowledge about how to do that. Okay, I've got a third advantage as well. The whole project is quite visual, and I say in any of these tools, if something's visual, you can communicate it very easily. Okay, so you can clearly see, right, what have we got to do, where are we up to, okay, when you're doing a complicated project. Right, so evaluation of critical path analysis. I've just said, oh, we can remove resources from F to D. Well, imagine if we're building a house and F is using some sort of, I don't know, installing the windows, and D is doing something in the road outside the garden. The skills of the people working there aren't sort of transferable to the skills of D, so it's not actually helping. Yes, we know that's not critical, but we can't necessarily automatically just move resources, okay? Second evaluation, it's all forecasted. So here I say, oh, C is going to take 5 days. Well, if those forecasts are poor, unpredictable events can happen. This might mean that this ends up being a critical path because that was not as short as potentially a builder quoted us. Third evaluation, unexpected events. I think I just incorporated that based on forecasted, but based on the weakness of them being forecast. But yeah, unexpected events may occur, which will totally disrupt the whole durations. EV4, difficult to construct for projects with many tasks. Yeah, this project here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's only 7 tasks. If we imagine constructing something huge, you know, a big flyover, a big shopping mall, imagine all the tasks that have got to go into that and how complex, with multiple branches, multiple flow times, it may be very difficult to construct and actually make a usable network diagram. Okay? Hope that helps.